The Kilvey Hill transmitting station was originally built at the summit of Kilvey Hill in Swansea, Wales, by the BBC in 1967 as a relay for VHF and UHF television. VHF television came on air a few months before the UHF services. As built, the station did not radiate VHF FM radio. This was added later. Currently, the Hill's transmitters cater for viewers and listeners in the Swansea and Neath Port Talbot area. The transmission station located on top of Kilvey Hill is owned and operated by Arqiva. Freeview digital terrestrial TV was already available at low power from this transmitter before the digital switchover process began, with the first stage taking place on Wednesday, the 12th of August 2009. The second stage was completed on Wednesday, the 9th of September 2009, with the transmitter becoming the first in Wales to complete digital switchover. After the switchover process, analogue channels ceased broadcasting permanently, and the Freeview power increased from 383 W ERP to 2 kW ERP, a 7 dB power increase. Channels listed by frequency. Analog television equals December 1967, the 17th of February 1968 equals. Kilvey Hill provided BBC 405-line VHF television to the Neath and Port Talbot area, which is strongly shielded by local hills from the Wenvo transmitter just to the west of Cardiff. Kilvey Hill was a relay of the Wenvo transmitter. Despite being sited at Swansea, no effort was made to provide the VHF TV signal to Swansea itself. The town was already deemed to be well served by Wenvo. Equals the 17th of February 1968 to 28 January 1972 equals. A BBC R&D report details the coming of 625-line UHF television to the Kilvey Hill site. This again was with the station acting as an off-air relay of Wenvo, which was, at that point, only transmitting BBC Two in colour on 625 lines. This time, the northern parts of Swansea were intended to be covered by the signal as local hills, including Kilvey Hill itself, shielded those parts of the town from the UHF signal from Wenvo. Equals the 28th of January 1972 to 1 November 1982 equals. BBC One and HTV Wales came on air from Wenvo in April 1970. But it was nearly 2 years later before Kilvey Hill started to relay those channels. Equals the 1st of November 1982, second quarter 1983 equals. Channel 4 launched across the UK in 1982. Kilvey Hill, being in Wales, transmitted the S4C variant. Equals second quarter 1983 to 15 July 1997 equals. 405-line television was discontinued early, and from then onwards TV transmissions were on UHF only. Equals the 15th of July 1997 to 15 November 1998 equals. During 1997, Channel 5 gained an analogue channel from some transmitters and Kilvey Hill was one of them. The site radiated all 5 UK terrestrial analogue television services at 10 kW until digital switchover was completed on the 9th of September 2009. Analogue and digital television equals the 15th of November 1998 to 12 August 2009 equals. The initial rollout of digital television in the UK involved radiating the signals at low power in between the existing analogue channels. The apparent use of channels 21 and 22, the muxes C and 2, respectively, might look like a mistake, but is confirmed by Ofcom's site. Equals the 12th of August 2009 to 9 September 2009 equals. The UK's digital switchover commenced with Kilvey Hill on the 12th of August 2009. Analogue BBC Two Wales on Channel 26 was first to close, and ITV Wales was moved from Channel 23 to Channel 26 for its last month of service. With it went MUX 1 from Channel 25 to be replaced by the new BBC A MUX, which started up in 6.4 QAM, and at full power, i.e. 2 kilowatts, on Channel 23, which had just been vacated in the shuffle. Digital television equals the 9th of September 2009 present equals. The remaining analog TV services were closed down. The digital multiplexes took over their original frequencies, and a few new ones, with a power increase and a move to 6.4 QAM encoding. Analog radio, VHF FM, equals the 30th of September 1974, early 1980s equals. The first FM radio from the site was Wales' first independent radio station. Swansea Sound, equals early 1980s, 1989 equals. Swansea Sound changed frequency to 96.4 MHz as required by a new band plan for Band 2. Broadcasting, which placed BBC stations below 96 MHz and independent local radio stations above that. The band limit was 98 MHz at that point. BBC Radio 2, BBC Radio 3 and BBC Radio Cymru commenced from the site sometime before 1988 as the BBC's service area map of 1988 shows. Equals 1989 to 30 September 1995 equals. The 1988 band plan for Band 2 raised the upper limit for broadcasting to 100 MHz and Radio 1 gained its own frequency. Equals the 30th of September 1995 to 1997 equals. Swansea Sound changed its name first to 96.4 Sound Wave, then quickly to 96.4 The Wave. Equals 1997 present equals. Classic FM came on air in 1997. The other new services have joined at various times since then. Radio Cymru has moved to 104.2 MHz with BBC Radio Wales taking over the vacated 93.9 MHz slot. Digital radio. DAB. Kilvey Hill transmitter info. The transmission gallery. Kilvey Hill.